guys with their nails done.
Before we start this video, I would like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I don't know what I did for the past days, but my viewership, and as well as subscribers, are pretty high than usual. From the bottom of my robotic heart, I thank you all. For those who are not subscribed yet, I would humbly ask you to click that subscribe button, and give me a chance to entertain you with my content. I'm trying to reach 200k subs before the end of this year, and I hope that you can help me out achieve this goal. Thank you once again, and now, please lend me your eyes and ears, as I want to discuss a very important topic on Warframe. Recently, I have released a video about the current meta for this game's melee system. It got a lot of attention thanks to you lads, and I got some positive feedbacks, suggestions, and even questions about the current meta. The most intriguing one is about exalted weapons. More specifically, those melee exalted weapons. Let's make things clear, this is only my observation, but it seems some of the exalted melee weapons are weaker compared to regular melee weapons after the rework. I felt like they have become obsolete after the recent Melee 3.0 changes. Just like I've said, some and not all other exalted melee is a beast right now. Just take for example Brooks Desert Wind. Build this exalted fist for heavy attack and you will be dishing thousands, or even millions of damage to your enemies. But not only special abilities like Desert Wind have received a huge buff, abilities like Korra's Whipclaw have just gotten better. After it can equip Takalite mods like Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds. Now, every crack of Korra's whip will either one-shot an enemy with over 1,000,000 damage, or will let them bleed to death. What's my point then? My point is, some exalted, or melee frame abilities adapted to the changes, but others got obsolete. Long story short, exalted weapons deserve to be more powerful than ordinary melee. Why not? It's a special ability, and it should be more destructive compared to regular ones. Just take for example Excalibur Umbra's Exalted Blade, and the Nikana Prime. By the way, a big thank you to Liger in Yuzuka for creating this sick Excalibur skin. This is just magnificent and one of the best deluxe skins in the game right now. So anyway, when it comes to modding, I usually go with the 100% status chance with my Exalted Blade. To achieve that, I just give enough a power strength so Chromatic Blade will give out 100% status chance to the exalted weapons. This way, I can also maximize the damage of my exalted melee by saving some slots for elemental damage. I have no problem with this build taking on high-level enemies. However, when someone mentioned that this exalted weapon's damage is distributed between 15% impact, 15% puncture, and 70% slash, I was kind of bothered. Confused of the fact that why was this not written on the description, and if so, then this weapon could potentially do more with a condition overload build. If only this IPS would proc more. If you look closely, then you would see sometimes that impact and slash proc on your exalted blade. However, the chance is pretty slim. If only Digital Extremes will buff these damage types, to the point that it can proc along with your chosen elemental damage, then this exalted weapon could perform better. Why would they do that, you ask? Because the likes of Nikana Prime can easily out DPS this special ability. I won't even complain if it's just an ordinary ability, but the fact is, Exalted Blade is what makes Excalibur special, and seeing Nikana Prime out damage a special ability at max combo multiplier is not right. And mind you, Exalted Blade cost energy to cast and maintain. So, why would I bother using it when I can just blind enemies and destroy them with my Nikana Prime? By the way, this video is in no way bullying the current state of some exalted weapons. It's just pure fact that they need a little buff after what has transpired on phase 2 of the melee rework. It's meant to give the developer an idea that exalted weapons needs buff so players will have the interest of using it. Because at the end of the day, we always want two things in this game: kill everything at the fastest time possible, and have all the shiny stuff that Warframe has to offer. Moving along, I think that Valkyr's Talon also needs a little tweaking. This weapon is supposed to be a slash monster, but with a measly 10% status chance, I don't expect to see those slash and bleed ticks happening. What I would suggest is they balance the critical chance and status chance, to the point that it can dish out some decent slash, then bleed damage. In the current meta, the only I can see that Valkyr doing some serious damage with her claw is by spinning, or doing heavy attacks, or by incorporating condition overload, and then adding something like the Zakti on your loadout. The idea is simple: shoot enemies with Zakti to inflict status, and then murder them with your claws. This is the only way that you could make Valkyr's Talon do a lot of damage, and honestly, I find it weaker compared to regular claw weapons. In addition to that, the Hysteria stance don't have any combo that would force proc/damage, making it a weak stance also. Regular melee weapons with little status chance may outperform Valkyr Talons, since they have combos that can force proc/damage. Not to mention that it can also proc other damage types like impact, which adds to the bonus damage of condition overload. In fact, I can honestly say that Valkyr's Talon is weaker compared to Venka Prime. This melee weapon has it all. It can deal with brutal slash and bleed damage, because it both have a decent status chance and crit chance. And most of all, both Vermilion Storm and Malicious Raptor stance have combos that can force proc/damage. It's easier to kill enemies with this weapon, compared to the Zakti, Valkyr Talon's combo. Another exalted melee weapon that I think needs some tweaking is Wukong's Iron Staff. Although I consider this as the best exalted melee when it comes to stats, it's still lacking that raw power to outperform even the regular melee weapons. The addition of slash on its damage is a start, but I wish that Digital Extremes did increase the numbers of slash damage. Also, the fact that it can't use acolyte mods like Weeping Wounds to increase your status chance kind of messed up the staff in my opinion. In my case, I'm pinned to just 78% status chance, since it's a waste going with 100% status with 4 dual status mods plus the Drifting Contact mod. You might suggest to increase the power strength on my Wukong build, and add the Primal Rage augment to give the staff some critical boost. Well, I just did that, but honestly, it's not worth it. Giving too much power strength by adding Blind Rage on your mod setup consumes a lot of energy. And since Wukong can't take a hit now against level 200 plus enemies, there's no way you can maintain the energy consumption of your staff, plus casting your Cloud Walker just to regenerate life. The only way to make Iron Staff good right now is to do that condition overload tactic we applied on Valkyr, and that takes a lot of time compared to just mashing the melee button with your regular melee. Like I've said earlier, I did not make this video just to criticize. I only state the fact in here, and I based all the things I've said in this video from what I experienced playing through Melee 3.0. Take all my opinions for improving every exalted melee with a grain of salt, as all I'm thinking now is how to make them powerful than the regular melee weapon. What I hope to attain here are fairness and balance. Special weapons, or more specifically, exalted melee weapons should be more powerful than regular melee weapons. I just help you get my point though. So what do you think? What are your opinions about the current situation of exalted melee weapons after phase 2 of the melee rework? Let me know your feedbacks on the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before leaving. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.